name is Winnie Harper Moyer. I was born in Buda, Texas, in Antioch Colony, and my year was 1937, July the 29th. My daddy's named George Harper. My mother's was named Emma Tennant Harper.
Did you have other siblings? Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Could you list them for me?
Okay. We have 5 brothers.
Okay.
Oldest one, George Harper Jr., deceased.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Joshua Harper. The next one is Elijah Harper.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one was Moses Harper. And the baby boy was Samuel Harper. I have 5 sisters.
And what are their names?
Miriam Harper Washington.
Okay.
Eunice Harper Rhymes. Emily Harper Hill. Ruth Harper Fears. And Winnie Harper Moyer.
Okay. What was your dad's occupation? Did I understand you said he was a farmer?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did he farm? And were you a part of that?
Yes.
Okay.
He farmed cotton, cane, high gear, and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And we was a part of it because besides the cows, he had cows, horses,
Mm-hmm.
dogs, chicken, turkeys, guineas,
Mm-hmm.
ducks. And we had to take care of those animals.
Mm-hmm.
And when he farmed hay, he would go around to different farmers here in Buda, and he'd cut the hay and bale it for them. And he would pick their crops, do the crops for them, whatever it was. Cutting down cane, he grew corn, and we'd have to cut that down
Mm-hmm.
and stack it. The stalks
Mm-hmm.
of the corn, we had to stack it together, tied in bundles,
Mm-hmm.
and then we put them just like an Indian hut.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we would stack them in the fields.
Out in the fields.
Mm-hmm.
Did your mom do the training for in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
She taught us how to iron,
Mm-hmm.
which we had to put the irons on the coal,
Mm-hmm.
the fire,
Yeah.
and then she showed us how to wipe them off before you put them on the clothes.
Uh-huh.
And taught us how to cook. Started with red beans,
Mm-hmm.
brown gravy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learned from those 2 things until I got older.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to cornbread, one
Right.
thing at a
The
time.
higher food groups.
Right.
Yeah. Was it evenly divided between your mom and dad, or was it more in the house?
More in the field.
More in the fields?
Because mother took care of the home.
Okay.
In those days, parents didn't allow the young kids going and cooking and messing up food
Mm-hmm.
unless they were trained.
I see.
If you were not, you didn't do that. My mother took care of that.
I see. So you went to the fields with your dad?
Majority,
I
yes.
see. Okay.
When we came along, the school had moved from up in the pasture, I guess you call it,
Mm-hmm.
and moved down to where we built in the church at. And we had a 2-room school
Mm-hmm.
that was built by the Revators. They all was masons, and they took the rocks out of the woods and gathered them up. And our school was made out of rock.
Okay. And you said it was a 2-room school?
2-room school.
Okay. Divided by the age of the students who
Yes.
went there?
Uh-huh.
I see.
Like the 1st grade, 2nd and 3rd grade was in one room, and then the 4th through the 8th was in another room.
Okay.
And we had a kitchen in there, but we had outdoors restroom.
Uh-huh.
And Mrs. Callahan and Mrs. Woody, Catherine Woody from San Marcos, and Mrs. Callahan were from San Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 teachers.
Miss Woody,
Mm-hmm.
Callahan. Callahan. Well, both of them was, but Miss Woody didn't whoop me as often as Miss Callahan did.
She would whip you.
She wouldn't.
Would.
She'd tell me she gonna whoop me, but she didn't whoop me. And I liked it her better because Miss Callahan, she whooped the hardest. And
Would
she
she do it
didn't
with a paddle or a switch? Or?
ruler.
Ruler. Ruler.
So she said she gonna get you. She got you.
Was that a everyday kind of thing? Did
Yeah.
somebody get it every day? Or?
Every day.
What store did your parents deal with?
Mrs. Stacy grocery store
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Cecil Clark. Yeah, I like Mr. Clark's store better because he let us get candy and gum on it. Miss Stacy wouldn't. She says, that's not food for the whole family, so you can't have it.
I see.
You run the George Bill up.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So
So-
you could actually charge on your dad's bill.
Yeah.
Not very, well, just going there shopping with my dad, you know.
Mhm.
And I know I'm not going to end up picking up something I had no business or some sweets or something because mother made all that.
Yeah.
So I just follow along, seeing what he get on his grocery list.
Okay. Okay.
But Mr. Clark, I'm like Winnie, I like going down there. Ice cream at that time was only 15 cents a pint.
Yeah.
And then it went to 25 cents.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you just go in, get whatever you want to, and just felt a freedom
Yes.
in his store. You know, he wasn't so, I guess when he wasn't so tight,
Right.
you know, because he knew we were George children, and he knew whatever we got, George was straightening out, and we got the wrong things.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
always told to go and get one thing or two things, that's all you could get.
Mhm.
So that's the way I did. But my favorite was ice cream
and
and Mr. Goodbar candy.
Mr. Goodbar Candy. Was your dad treated with respect, I guess is my question?
Yes.
Okay, great. Glad to hear that.
Yes. Very much so. And today, if we run into somebody that knew my dad and we say we are Harpers,
Mm-hmm.
they, you know, oh, George, you George's daughter? You know, and I said, yeah. And if it's something just like Mr. Love, electrician, he used to come through and talk to my dad about the colony, you know, learn all about it. And I told, when I called him to do some work for me, and I told him I was George Harper's daughter. And he said, oh, he said, well, then I'll give you a discount. So I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
No, it's nothing hard to talk about. They didn't like you, they just didn't like you. You know, it was racist, they let you know they was racist so you wouldn't bother to hold no conversation with them.
Right. Right.
And we didn't. We came from a Christian family,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we was taught to treat everybody the same.
Yes, ma'am.
And even if they mistreated you, you just pray for them and go head on. Don't start no, you know, ruckus with them.
I see.
Just get out of their sight.
Okay.
So we do that.
All
That's
right.
how our daddy taught us. Didn't want us to start no trouble, you know, and get locked up from arguing back with somebody that didn't like you. Well, we went to Florida first before we went to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And someone out there in Florida had told him if he go to Arizona, the crops was more, you know, they had lots more crops out there,
Okay.
and they paid more money.
Mhm.
So he gathered us all up, including a bunch of friends that wanted to follow him out there. And he bought him a big old, what was it, 1950 Chevrolet truck. And he put a tarpaulin over top of it
Wow.
and put us all in the back of there.
Wow.
And we all moved to Arizona.
Uh-huh.
We went to, what's the name of that first place we went to in Arizona before we moved to Phoenix? Florence, Arizona.
Okay.
We stayed there, I think about a year, and they told us it was better in Phoenix.
Okay.
So we moved to Phoenix.
What happened to Antioch Colony in the meantime? Because obviously your family was one of the big families of the community.
Well, most of them, the elderly ones passed away, and the young ones moved to Austin in different, you know, cities in Texas. Some went to California. And it just, you know, my uncle, my dad's brother and his wife and daughter and son, they remain here, going to Antioch Church up there. And a few neighbors, the Buttons and the Cersei's, I think, was left till they all, passed away. The house where we was born, it was still standing. And my cousin's house, we call him Ted Kavanaugh, his house is still standing. And my cousin there with the Anderson, she married Louis Anderson. Their house was still standing. And I think that's yeah, Miss May Pete's old house, that's right. Her house was still standing. But I think that was all. George Smithman didn't have any house on their property, but he finally put a trailer on there.
Okay. No church?
No, they had tore the church down just before I came.
Okay.
Well, at that time, it was the parents took you to church. They took you to Sunday school, 11 o'clock service, and 6 p.m. service. And we had no choice to follow our parents, but as I recall, the main thing I really got out of church service, the prayers. They prayed out loud. They got on their knees and they prayed out loud. And they couldn't help but understand that they're praying for the families of the church and the communities and thanking God for his blessings. And that was, and to see it come to pass, the things they prayed for. And I learned how to pray by hearing my dad praying aloud in church. He didn't miss nothing, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
From the members of your body to all your health and strength.
Yes.
So it was an instance that we had sat quiet. And we sat down, and one time I was on the edge of the bench and I happened to put my foot out in the hall, like, and my dad, how the parents watch children around in church. They've been looking around to see how you acting. My dad's probably like, they come back and smacked me on my leg. I went crazy. I just went almost blind, scared so bad. Because all those folks in church, it didn't make him no difference. But I didn't do that again.
Yeah.
Well, really, to me, Buda hadn't changed too much because they didn't have no daycare like they have now. They didn't have these additional stores that they have in buildings. And I think they only started really improving is back in 1998. In 1998, because at that time we had a plan for a vision plan for the colony, and we had in there daycare and places for the elder. And after that, then things started booming, to my knowledge, because there was our plans, but we had took them to the city. So after that, they had daycare going all over. They only had one elder place I know of. That's there on Bluff in Hayes Trail. That elder home there.
Yes, ma'am.
But after that, it seemed to me that things started booming in 2000.
To see different peoples to move into the neighborhood was a change, to me. And, white families had moved into Antioch Colony, and there wasn't that many blacks. And the things as far as peoples go was a little better. They didn't treat you wrong, they'll look at you and look off, to keep you from looking at them. Everybody was more friendly.
Really? Good to hear.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in particular who stands out in your mind as particularly welcoming when you came back?
Yes, the postmaster. I was trying to think of his name while you was talking, but I can't remember his name. He was very friendly, and I told him that we was moving back. We didn't have a mailbox, and wanted them to put a mailbox, over at our area. And he welcomed us and told us anything we needed, we didn't know about, to let him know. And I did, and he's the one that Dad decided to name the street that we on, Old Black Colony Road. So I went to him and asked him, how do I go about doing that? And he told me. So
That's
he was
interesting.
very helpful, for our community. They came before the Civil War. I think after Grandpa died,
Okay,
then grandmother moved to Hayes County.
all right,
Her mother moved. So that was our great-grandfather, not our
okay.
grandfather.
So for generations back,
Yeah.
the family had been here.
Riley. And he gave each person so many acres, families, to move them off the property where they was working.
Was that ever talked about in your family,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Rowley?
Daddy drilled that in our heads.
Really?
I don't
There's
know
your
how I could
history.
ever forget his name.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, how nice he was to the black peoples, gave him a start.
yeah.
And I think he worked for everybody around here in Buda that had a farm. And, to take care of his children, because he worked on the railroad track for the railroad company starting in Kinchinville. That's where he started, because that's when that, what they used to call cyclone, came through. And he was working on the railroad track, and he said, oh, Lord, he said, don't take my family, but there wasn't nobody there but his wife. And they couldn't get to him, there was a school there and other houses, the white people's, but they was the only blacks that lived around in that area.
I see.
And they couldn't come. They told him, they're going towards your house, George. He said, Lord, save my wife, And this little boy, my mom told us many times that he was getting out of school, and he came through there where her house was and told her, lady, you got to get out, She said, he said, come on, let's go to the school. So they went to the school when this tornado came through. And his brother lived somewhere close to there, but it wasn't where he were. I guess on another man's farm. And his family got tossed in the storm, and one of the children got killed, but the other two were saved. I think they was thrown in a ditch somewhere, but the baby died, his little baby. And mother lost her eye in the storm. 2 before went through her head and come out through her eye. Her and this little boy she wrapped him in her arms, and they got in the corner, and it blew out all the glass in the school. And 2 before, glass was flying everywhere. So I don't recall her saying that he got hurt, because she said she covered him up, with her body to keep him from getting hurt. And that's I think the only thing. Well, she had another splinter. The splinter went through her head, and the 2